Hey, we are talking about how to decrease crotch pain in your pregnancy. This is super important because pregnancy is a long journey, and if you are experiencing pain in your pubic area or in your pelvis, I want to help you ease that as much as possible. I'm Annabelle, RN, BSN, birth doula, and mama, and I'm here to build your confidence in birth. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and ring that bell to stay up to date to my latest content. Crotch pain is a very general term, and when you are pregnant, you can have all different kinds of pain down there. And so I'm going to specifically talk about pelvic girdle pain, and then I'm going to mention lightning crotch and contractions and what labor starts to feel like as you get closer to your due date. Pelvic girdle pain, it's a very generalized term for if you have pain in your pubic area, in your pelvis, lower back, buttocks, thighs, front, or back. Very general. It used to be called symphysis pubis dysfunction, and now it's called pelvic girdle pain. As your baby grows inside of your uterus and puts more weight on your pelvis, your posture is going to start changing, and you're going to have a hormone released into your body called relaxin. Relaxin softens ligaments, and you have ligaments in your pubic bone, so in that symphysis pubis, and then you also have some ligaments in the back, in the sacroiliac region of your pelvis. And these ligaments are gonna start softening, and what's happening is your pelvis is preparing to grow with your baby and then also be able to move a little bit when baby needs to come down your birth canal when you give birth. So this is a beautiful process, but it can cause a little bit of pain and frustration for you in your pregnancy. In my first pregnancy, I really didn't experience this at all. But in this second pregnancy, I really started to notice this around 25 weeks. It's very common in pregnant women, but it is not a normal process for women to start having this pelvic girdle pain. So definitely talk to your healthcare provider if you start experiencing some of these signs and symptoms. For one, I started noticing specifically that my gait was changing. The way that I was walking, I was starting to waddle very early in my pregnancy. Again, I noticed this around 25 weeks gestation. So my belly wasn't even that big yet, and yet I'm waddling like I'm 38 weeks pregnant. And so this was alarming to me. I was wondering, why can I not walk with good posture so early in my pregnancy? I also noticed when I would get dressed in the morning, I would try to lift one leg and put weight on the other to put my leg inside of my pants, and it hurt in my pelvis. It was a grinding, sharp pain. And this was concerning to me as well. You might experience if you're walking up and down stairs, or if you're trying to get in and out of the car, you're having this pain anywhere in your pelvis. Specifically for me, it was in the front where my pubic bone is. So that was something that I was like, what is going on? Also, some other things that you can notice. If you're trying to have sex with your husband, it can be very painful to try to change positions anytime you're using those muscles in your pelvis or where your thigh meets your pelvis. Lots of pain there. Rolling over in bed. Why can I not go from side to side without it waking me up and just having that grinding pain? And specifically, you might even hear or feel a clicking or a grinding or even somewhat of a tearing feeling in the front where that pubic bone meets, or in the back where your sacroiliac joints are. Some signs and symptoms, things that should be alarming to you. What is going on? My first tip on how to decrease this pain is, if an activity hurts, if something is hurting you, stop doing it. I noticed it, like I said, around 25 weeks pregnant. I was starting to notice I couldn't roll over in bed. One day I got up and I said, maybe I just need to stretch some more. So I did some stretches. I did some lunges specifically where my pelvis with a lunge becomes uneven, and that aggravated the pain. I was stopped in my tracks, and oh my goodness, it just took everything out of me. And I was even sore for the next couple of weeks, and I had to do some exercises to help my pelvis kind of recover from that, because 25 weeks to 40 weeks is a long time, and I thought, I cannot handle this. It was causing a lot of anxiety inside of me. I couldn't sleep at night. I could not get comfortable in any position. So if something hurts, don't do it. Don't do it again, and stop where you're at. Just because it's recommended maybe in a video of how to prepare for birth, how to stretch and open up your pelvis, if it is hurting you, don't do it. As we continue to talk about how to decrease this pain in your crotch, you always need to keep in your mind the thing that is aggravating My crotch area is that asymmetrical movement of my pelvis. Your pelvis has that symphysis pubis in the front, and it has those sacroiliac joints in the back. Anything that is going to disrupt the alignment of that pelvis is probably going to hurt. So asymmetrical movements, climbing up stairs, climbing up any sort of steps, getting in the car, turning and lifting, anything that's heavy, lifting children on one hip, etc. So trying to make sure that as you are sitting and resting, you are keeping your feet flat. You're not crossing your legs like women like to do. It's very comfortable, but that is going to cause asymmetrical movement of your pelvis. When you get into your bed, making sure that you are getting in on both of your butt cheeks, very even on the bed, and you maneuver yourself in bed where you stay flat on your butt. When you sleep on your side, because in pregnancy we're supposed to sleep on our side, right? Doctors don't want us flat on our back, which is probably going to be very comfortable for your pelvis. But you're gonna sleep on your side, putting a pillow between your knees and trying to keep your back and pelvis as straight as possible. When you go to turn over in bed, when I first aggravated my pelvis, I had to start turning over in bed inward. So I was on my side and I would have to turn my shoulder into the bed, over on my face, and turn to the other side. As I continued to help my pelvis recover, I was able to change that. Now I am able to turn from my side to my back and to my other side, but I still have to help myself. I have to squeeze my bottom, keep my knees together, and turn over. And I even have to use my opposite hand to kind of push my bum underneath myself before I can get to my back and to the other side. These are things you're gonna have to figure out as you go. What hurts? What doesn't hurt? Am I keeping my pelvis in line as much as possible? Avoiding movements that hurt. When you go to have sex with your husband, you might have to change some positions, maybe on hands and knees where your back is straight and he's behind you, or you're on your side with a pillow somewhat between your knees or supported in some way. Now I'm going to give you my 3 favorite exercises to ease that pelvic pain. Number 1, your Kegel exercises. This is something that I will recommend to all of my mamas as they're preparing to give birth and then in their recovery period to help with stress incontinence so they don't pee their pants. They rebuild those muscles around their vagina. But this helps so much with your pelvic muscles and your pelvic floor muscles that it will ease this crotch pain. You're gonna start with your Kegel exercises on the toilet. You're gonna start your stream of urine, and then you're going to squeeze all of those pelvic floor muscles and the muscles around your vagina, squeeze them upwards, pull your belly in, and stop that stream of urine. Then you're gonna start that stream of urine again, and then you're gonna squeeze all those muscles in, hugging your belly in, pulling those muscles up, and stop that stream of urine. You're gonna do this 5 times while you're trying to go to the bathroom. Then you'll get so good at these exercises that you can sit at your computer and practice your Kegels. You can just engage all of those muscles. This eases the pain and it builds those pelvic floor muscles up so that you actually will recover faster after you give birth. Lovely exercise. Second, your butterflies. I'm going to show these to you. You're gonna sit on the floor and you're going to pull your feet together in a little butterfly position. You're gonna keep your back straight, flat in the back, and you're going to pull your knees up your side and squeeze all your pelvic floor muscles, kind of like with that Kegel. And then you're gonna relax your knees down to the floor and just try to press your knees down to the floor as far as possible. If you can't go very far, that's okay. Don't push yourself to the point where it hurts. I love to do these just when I'm sitting around the house, when I'm reading, and even in bed. When I turn from my side to my back, I will lay on my back for a few minutes. I'll pull my legs up into that butterfly position, push my knees down into the bed, let my pelvis relax and realign, and then I will turn to my other side, put that pillow between my knees again, and go back to sleep. And my third exercise for you are pelvic tilts on your birth ball. Tighten your belly muscles, those pelvic floor muscles as well, squeeze everything in. Also squeeze and curl your bottom. And now you're going to lean over towards your feet to loosen your pelvis and lower back muscles. This is going to feel good in the moment, and it's also going to help those pelvic floor muscles recover and build up as you are trying to decrease your crotch pain. Now, lightning crotch, on the other hand, let's talk about lightning crotch. Moms will experience this late in pregnancy, usually. It's very common and it's normal. Your baby is growing inside of your uterus and you have these ligaments on the side of your uterus holding it up. And those ligaments are also affected by relaxin and they start to relax and stretch. And as baby moves, that can cause pulling of those ligaments, which can cause sharp shooting pain. Lots of nerves here. And that can cause the sensation of, my vagina, my crotch, my lower back, butt, etc. It hurt, felt like lightning, it was quick, and it went away. What was that? So those round ligaments, as baby drops down into your pelvis and puts pressure on your cervix as you get closer to your due date, that can also cause lightning crotch, that sharp shooting pain that comes and it goes. So baby's putting pressure on that cervix that has lots of nerves. So baby dropping, that can cause it. And then also just any sort of sharp movement on your behalf. So you get up from the couch really quick and baby is shifted in position and you get that sharp shooting pain that makes you sit back down on the couch because that hurt. Again, probably lightning crotch, very normal in pregnancy and it's very common. Nothing to be concerned about if that pain comes and it goes just like that. You can have in your mind, okay, where am I in my pregnancy? Am I close to my due date? Baby is probably coming down, engaging in my pelvis and putting more and more pressure on my cervix. This is a good thing. It doesn't mean that labor has started yet. What is the difference between lightning crotch and labor? So contractions are not gonna feel sharp. Contractions are going to be painful, but it's more of a crampy feeling, kind of like a menstrual cramp, just more intense. You might feel it more in your lower back than in the front in your vagina or your crotch area. So contractions have a different feel in that sense. Contractions also usually start at the top. Your uterus is squeezing. It's a big muscle and it's trying to squeeze your baby from the top down into your pelvis and out your birth canal. So you're gonna feel those contractions start at the top where your abdomen gets hard and you're going to feel that achiness there. Also, contractions are going to continue. Lightning crotch might have just been a sudden movement on your behalf. It might have been baby moving and pulling on those round ligaments. So it's going to come and go, whereas contractions, if you are in the labor process and you're heading that way, are going to start, build, peak, and decline. Then you're gonna have a break, and then you're going to notice it again. Whether you're active or you're resting, a contraction is going to come on, build, peak, and decline. The key here is that contractions are going to become more and more frequent as labor progresses. So if this is not lightning crotch and it is actually labor starting, you are going to notice a contraction, break, contraction, break, contraction. And that break time is going to get shorter and shorter. So at the beginning of labor, it might be every 30 minutes between each contraction, then every 15 minutes, then every 12 minutes, then 10 minutes. And when you get into the active phase of labor, you will have contractions less than every 5 minutes apart. That is the key to active labor, is you're having frequent contractions less than 5 minutes apart, and they're painful, and that pain is increasing. You're not able to just, okay, yeah, that didn't feel very good. No, it stops you in your tracks. You're not talking to anybody. You might not consider it the most painful thing in your life. Most women do. If you're super tough and you say, yeah, that wasn't that bad, but you're probably not talking through that contraction. So if you have this pain and you think, was it lightning crotch or was it a contraction? Then you take the next step and say, okay, well, it was sharp, not achy. It came and went. It didn't stick around. I felt it in the front, in my vaginal area, in my crotch, not in my lower back, and I didn't feel it starting at the top and moving down. Okay, it was lightning crotch. I'm okay. What can I do to make sure this doesn't happen again? Belly bands are great. Belly bands provide a lot of support for baby so that those round ligaments don't get a lot of pull on them. So that belly band provides support and comfort, gives you kind of a hugging feeling. Also those Kegels, engaging those belly and pelvic floor muscles so that you're hugging baby back into your spine and just helping baby stay close to you instead of hanging out there and causing those round ligaments to pull. And slow movements. If you notice that you're getting this lightning crotch, this sharp pain when you jump up off the couch to go get something to catch your child that's about to fall off the chair, and that's when you notice it, try to take slow movements. Move as your body is able. So that's pelvic girdle pain, lightning crotch, and contractions. I hope that differentiated the three, and mama, I really hope that you can implement some of these things to help ease that crotch pain. Again, I'm here with you. I feel your pain. We're in this together. Let's stay strong and remember the life that we are growing inside of our bodies, that it is miraculous and beautiful. I would love to take the next step with you towards your dream birth. In my opinion, that is a natural birth experience where you feel and experience and are a part of that bonding experience with your baby through this journey. Check out my free workbook in the description below where I walk you through my 4-step process to your natural birth. I will see you in the next video.